The Giant Puppeteer. This is not a creature that haunts your nightmares. It is a master puppeteer of colossal proportions. Its power is not based on terror, but on absolute control. Instead of running, you are forced into a choreography in which you are the main character. The Giant Puppeteer turns entire cities into an impromptu theater, manipulating people with its immense hands. A simple blink, and you no longer have control over your own body. This being does more than just cause fear. It strips you of your will. Its figure is that of a humanoid shadow, with arms that stretch out and long fingers that hang like curtain cords. But what is truly unsettling are its hands, thin, skeletal, and always ready to catch their next puppet. Some say it is faceless, while others say it wears a theater mask whose expression shifts between joy and despair. The true horror is not in physical violence, but in the loss of autonomy. You realize that your body does not belong to you. You are not a victim fleeing, you are an actor in its show. You will march towards your own end, smiling, clapping, doing pirouettes without being able to help it. The nightmare is not death, but the transformation into a puppet. Once its strings reach you, there is no escape. You are just another act in its play. The Wildfire Giants. There are giants that don't walk. They leave a trail of destruction. This is not a metaphor. They appear wrapped in flames, as if they had emerged from the worst corner of hell. No one knows their origin, their purpose, or even if they think. They only manifest when the sky turns red and the wind whispers blood-curdling secrets. They are so tall they dwarf skyscrapers. They are humanoid torches making their way through valleys, indifferent to everything around them. And in their wake, everything turns to ash. Towns, forests, even memories are reduced to smoking postcards. One blink, and your neighborhood is nothing but a pile of embers. They don't roar, nor do their steps thunder. They just drift with an eerie silence like a fire dance over a dying world. It is the stillness that precedes a catastrophe with no return. Some believe they are not alive, but the manifestation of the earth's wrath. Others call them gods of destruction, waking up from a millennial sleep. But really, what does it matter? If one gets close to your house will cease to exist. That is the only rule. They don't chase you, they just ignore you. You don't realize how insignificant you are until something of such magnitude erases you from existence without even noticing. That is true terror. The next time you see smoke on the horizon, don't stay to find out what it is. Just run. Because if it's not a fire, it could be something much worse. The mushroom crab. This is no fantasy video game monster. It's a glitch of nature that refused to die. Imagine a crustacean the size of a warehouse with a shell covered in fungi that look ready to release poisonous spores. It has claws, legs, and an attitude that screams, "I was here before you and I'll still be here after you cease to exist." And no, these aren't just common mushrooms. It's a sentient fungus that feeds on the being it's growing on. This means the creature is a walking biological debt. The crab part is just the armor and legs. The rest is a gigantic infection that decided to go mobile. Its size isn't that of a kaiju, but it could turn a lighthouse into crab salad. It's not in a hurry, but each of its steps sounds like a forest collapsing. Imagine hearing the crunch of wood and gravel, only to realize it's not an earthquake. It's your new fungal overlord working out. It's not hunting, it's migrating, which is worse, because now you're in its path. And believe me, nobody wants to be roadkill on a mushroom highway. The Wandering Faith. The Wandering Faith does not bring chaos. Its arrival is a ritual, and dread follows closely behind. It is a colossal humanoid figure, wrapped in tattered and worn robes, tirelessly dragging itself across the land while reciting prayers that echo for miles. No one understands what it says, but those who hear it cannot help but follow. Thousands of people in a silent trance, walking towards it like moths to a holy fire. It is an unsettling image. Watching someone leave their home, their family, their entire identity, to march barefoot through mountains towards a god who may not see them, or worse, who may see them too well. The creature's face is always hidden. Some believe it has no face. Others say it wears a cracked porcelain mask that weeps blood. In its wake, the land shifts, crops die, rivers turn black, and the air feels heavy, as if you are breathing through someone else's lungs. Is it a god? A relic? A punishment? Perhaps it is all of them at once. It doesn't take your life, it takes your soul's purpose. It has no claws or teeth, just an overwhelming sense that kneeling is the right thing to do, that surrendering is peace, that worship is the only emotion left. No one knows what happens when the followers reach it. Perhaps they turn to ash, or maybe they merge with its torn robe. But one thing is certain, you never come back after worshipping the wandering faith. The moon worshippers. At first glance, they don't look threatening. Hooded silhouettes, motionless like pilgrims under the night sky, their heads tilted up, as if waiting for a god that has forgotten them. But the longer you stare, the more unsettling it becomes. You realize they don't blink, they don't sway, and they are not human. Trevor Henderson's moon worshippers are some of the most silent yet psychologically terrifying entities in his work. They appear in clusters, always facing the moon, often on hillsides, rooftops, or abandoned highways. Locations that feel both intimate and infinite. But their presence is not limited to a place, it's an event. They always appear during a full moon. And when they do, animals go quiet. Electronics glitch, and nearby people feel nausea, confusion, or overwhelming sadness. It's as if the air bends around them, as if grief has its own gravitational pull. They never speak, never move, but they somehow make you feel like you're intruding on a sacred ritual, one that was never meant for human eyes. And this is where it gets truly strange. They aren't just looking at the moon, they're communicating with it. Some witnesses claim the moon glows brighter when they arrive. Others say they've seen the figures levitate slightly before vanishing into thin air. But the most chilling theory is that they are not worshipping the moon. They are summoning something that hides behind it. The Behemoth. This being doesn't move across landscapes, it moves through the very bones of the earth. People often imagine the apocalypse as an event of fire, floods, or a catastrophe that tears the sky open. But what if the end is already here, and it's just sleeping? Somewhere beneath the mountains, under layers of rock and forgotten tectonic plates, something massive stirs. They call it the Behemoth, not because it's big, but because no one can describe it without running out of words. From the little we've seen, barely the top of its head, it's a reptilian nightmare the size of a continent. A conservative estimate places it at 800 kilometers tall. Though who would be measuring when the measuring tape would melt from pure fear? It doesn't move often, but when it does, entire coastlines vanish from the maps. Its face is simple, grayish skin, eyes as black as abysses, and a jaw so wide it could have swallowed an entire mountain without even chewing it. And here's the worst part. The Behemoth might just be one of its kind. The thought of there being more than one is enough to make you want to leave the planet. It doesn't roar, it doesn't attack, it doesn't do anything in particular. But you know that stillness that precedes the worst storm? That's what the Behemoth is. It's the punchline to a cosmic joke we didn't even know we were a part of. If you've made it to the end, it's because something within you resonates with these narratives. Don't just watch them, be a part of them. There's so much more to explore, and only those who are subscribed will get the notification when the next story is revealed. Make sure you don't miss a thing. Subscribe now to be the first to join the next journey.